Good morning, children. Welcome back to today's online session of Class 7 English. So, I hope you all are fine and safe and secure. Dear children, please do the homework regularly without fail. Dear children, we discussed about the very first lesson, the town mouse and the country mouse. Here, in the previous session, we discussed about the town mouse lived at the back of the kitchen cupboard in a rich man's house in a town, whereas the country mouse lived in a country. They were cousins. They often wrote letters to each other. One day, the town mouse wrote a letter to his cousin saying that he was ill and wanted to stay with the country mouse in his country, as he had been advised by the doctor to spend a week in the countryside. The country mouse got the letter from the town mouse. So he invited the town mouse to his countryside. Now let us see. So what is going to be happen in the next page? Right. All of you look at the textbook. Receiving the invitation from the country mouse, the town mouse packed his bags and caught the next train to the countryside. The day was bright and sunny, and soon the town mouse began to feel hot in the train. I wish there was an air conditioned coach, he said to himself. I feel very uncomfortable here. However, there was nothing he could do about it. So he grumbled to himself while the train chugged slowly into the country. The country mouse was waiting at the station. Oh, cousin, the town mouse said as soon as he got off the train. The train was dreadful. I feel terribly hot and thirsty. I hope you have something ice cold for me to drink at home. Well, I have some water, said the country mouse, but I can look around for some coconut water if you like. Coconut water? Asked the town mouse in horror. Don't you have any orange juice or lemonade? I am afraid not, replied his cousin, but I found a very nice piece of root today and a tender bit of sugar cane. I am sure you will enjoy that. Root? Sugar cane? The town mouse exclaimed. But I don't eat raw food like that. The country mouse said, this is what we eat in the country. So I am afraid you too have to eat this. Try it. It's not bad. The town mouse did not enjoy his dinner at all. He nibbled at the root and the sugar cane and then said he wanted to sleep. The country mouse showed a corner in the mouse hole and said, there you are. You can sleep there. Dear children, let us see the very first paragraph in this page. Receiving the invitation from the country mouse. Who received the invitation from the country mouse? Here, the town mouse. So, initially, the town mouse wrote a letter to the country mouse to stay for a week because the doctor advised him to take a rest for 1 week in the countryside. So, immediately when he wrote a letter to the country mouse sent invitation to the town mouse. Okay, you can come and visit countryside. You can stay. Here, receiving the invitation from the country mouse, the town mouse packed. Immediately here, as soon as he received invitation from the country mouse, the town mouse started to pack up his bags and caught the next train to the countryside. Dear children, immediately as soon as he got the invitation from the country mouse, immediately he packed his bags and caught the next train to the countryside. The day was bright and sunny, and soon the town mouse he began to feel hot in the train. So as soon as he got into the train, he felt that it was very sunny and bright. Because, dear children, the town mouse habituated to live in a very very comfortable zone. And also here he used to have AC, air conditioned coach. But here this is very very ordinary train, ordinary coach. Here there was no air conditioned coach, so that's why the town mouse felt very very horrible, and it felt uncomfortable to travel in the train. Dear children, by looking at these sentences we will understand how the town mouse comfortable in town side. See children, the day was bright and sunny, and soon the town mouse began to feel hot in the train. Here, the town mouse could not feel happy due to hot and bright in the train. It was very, very inconvenience to the town mouse to travel from his hometown to countryside. I wish there was an air conditioned coach. Please, dear children, please try to underline this sentence. I wish there was an air conditioned coach. Here, whenever I wish, it always followed by past auxiliary verb or past form. Okay, I wish there was an air conditioned coach. He said to himself, I feel very uncomfortable there. Dear children, whenever he traveled in the ordinary train, it felt that the town mouse felt that I wish. Here it wished. Okay, there was an air conditioned coach, because here there was no air conditioned coach at that moment. It felt that I wish there was an air conditioned coach, but it felt very very uncomfortable and inconvenience in traveling from his hometown to countryside. However, there was nothing he could do about it. But what should we do? We can't do anything, because here that was helpless in a situation, because the town mouse was traveling in an ordinary coach. It didn't provide any sort of a comfortability in the train, so it felt very very inconvenience, but it could not do anything. So he grumbled to himself while the train chugged slowly into the country. What is the meaning of grumble? Grumble means here to complain about something in a bad tempered way. Chug. What is the meaning of chugged? Chugged means here to move, making the sound of an engine or motor. Dear children, the train got started. Then when it was started, then it made a chuck. Understand? He grumbled to himself while the train chucked slowly into the country. The country mouse was waiting at the station. But see here, the mouse was not at all comfortable to while he was traveling in an ordinary coach, but who is eagerly waiting for the arrival of the town mouse? The country mouse was eagerly waiting for the arrival of the town mouse at the country mouse station. Right. Oh cousin, the town mouse said as soon as he got off the train. The train was dreadful. Dreadful. What is the meaning of dreadful? Dreadful, it is an adjective. It means very bad or unpleasant. Dear children, as soon as he got down from the train, the town mouse felt very, very uncomfortable and uneasy, inconvenience. And the country mouse received the town mouse at the country mouse station. Then the train was dreadful. Here, the town mouse exclaimed that the town was very, very horrible situation. I could not bear, I could not tolerate such a bad and unpleasant condition. I feel terribly hot and thirsty. I hope you have something ice cold for me to drink at home. Okay, now here the town mouse felt very, very bad, hot and thirsty. So that's why here it wanted to take some water. Then here he asked the town mouse, is there any ice cold water? Because here the town mouse was habituated to have what is it one, cool water. So that's why here it preferred to have ice cold water. Well, I have some water, said the country mouse, but I can look around for some coconut water if you like. Dear children, in the countryside we can get plenty of coconuts, and we can get coconut water. Coconut water is very very comfortable as well as healthy for human bodies. So dear children, country mouse said that here we can get coconut water, but the town mouse was not at all interested to take coconut water because it was very thirsty and hot. It was preferred to have ice cold water. I am afraid not, replied his cousin. Understand? Then a coconut water, asked the town mouse in horror. Don't you have any orange juice or lemonade? Here, orange juice or lemonade. Lemonade means here a sweet fizzy drink with a lemon flavor. See, dear children, here the town mouse preferred to have only ice cold water, or other than that, what did she prefer? She preferred to have either orange juice or lemonade. I am afraid not, replied his cousin. But I found very nice piece of root today, a tender bit of sugar cane. I am sure you will enjoy that. Here, the country mouse suggested that okay, here we can find a nice piece of root. Okay, now here sugar cane. Okay, now it is very very sweety and tasty. Then you can have this sugar cane. So you felt that it is very hot and sunny. Then if you eat this sugar cane, then you feel very better. Then what did it reply? Let us see. The town mouse replied, root, sugarcane? The town mouse exclaimed in wonder. But I don't eat raw food like that. See, the town mouse used to eat only cooked food. Understand? But it was not prefer and not interested to take raw food like sugarcane or roots. The country mouse said, this is what we eat in the countryside, so I am afraid you too have to eat this. Try it, it's not bad. Then the country mouse said that here, okay, now we are habituated to eat the countryside items, whatever the items, things, raw vegetables, raw, okay, now here especially root and sugar canes are very much available in this countryside. We used to eat this type of food in the countryside, but it's no problem. You can eat. It is very very tasty. The town mouse did not enjoy his dinner at all. He nibbled at the root and the sugar cane, and then said he wanted to sleep. See here, nibble. What is the meaning of nibble? Nibble means here to small bites of something, especially food. Okay, biting. Here, nibbled means here took small bites of something, especially food. He nibbled at the root and the sugar cane, but there was no chance. That's why here he started eating, nibbling the root and the sugar cane. Now, after having dinner, then he wanted to sleep. The country mouse showed a corner in the mouse hole and said, there you can sleep. There you are. You can sleep there. But the town mouse was, he used to live very very comfortable, but in countryside it has to live in some bowl in the kitchen or somewhere. But what about the town mouse? The town mouse used to live and sleep in the kitchen cupboard. It is very very comfortable for town mouse. But town mouse, when he visited the countryside, then when he wanted to eat something, when he wanted to sleep in the hole, it was not interested. It was not preferred to have those things in the countryside. So anyhow, what we can understand from this page, the town mouse was not comfortable in the countryside. It wanted to go back to his home town or own place. Dear children, once again go through the lesson and find out unfamiliar words which you come across the lesson, and please try to note down in your notebook.